Hey guys, this is Cam from 15 back at it with another video review for you guys for Classroom of the Elite, which was another solid episode. A lot of things happened in this episode. Just from the standpoint, we got a new president because Horikita's brother is stepping down or resigning. Seems like Ryuen is on his trail to try to find out who the traitor is who leaked out this information about all this that is going on, which we eventually know is Ayanokoji. Only makes sense that's the case. He had gotten some word, and we see that he got it from this one guy after the after the president's I guess introduction, the new president of the school's introduction to the, I guess you can say, being on the job. And then we get a new test in terms of the finals and stuff like that the students to take. And then apparently Kay is getting jealous. Holy hell, man. It seems like she's really simping over our boy Ayanokoji. But let's get into this episode review. So we start the episode off after that crazy episode last week. And Suzune's brother, Horikita's brother, just freaking resigns from being the class president. Don't know why he did that. Okay, interesting. And we have this new president. I didn't get his name, but this new guy, he pretty much is he lives by the standards of, the top students will be the best students here, while the bottom ones, well, they're nothing. They're meaningless. They can't they can't get good grades. So guess what? They shouldn't be getting all these perks and stuff like that. It's an interesting approach. You have to wonder if this guy is gonna have any, well, what am I saying? He's gonna have some sort of impact on the story. He's also from class A, he's from class 2A. So it's gonna be very interesting to see what this guy is gonna do and how much, in the story he's gonna be integral going from this point on forward. But it's going to be very interesting to see, why did Horikita's brother resign from the class president position. I don't know. That's very interesting. And Ayanokoji, he did make the reference of the standpoint, she would have been Horikita would have been losing her damn mind if she saw this a few months ago, I'm guessing. And that's when, as Ayanokoji's walking out, he ends up running into somebody from Class C, and we found out that's the guy that leaked out the information from Class C and gave them that stuff to help out with the Horikita situation, because she was legitimately, more than likely, about to freaking do something that Ryuen was going to force her to do. And speaking of Ryuen, I know I'm kind of going all over the place, but he knew he was on the tracking down of this whole thing. We get this very intimidating scene while he pretty much says, you know what the number one objective to get what you want in this world is? It's freaking unrestrained violence. This guy pretty much threatens the entire class of okay, who leaked out this freaking information? Who's the traitor? And he comes across this one girl who ended up saying she was the one that did it. And this dude freaking not only slams her on the freaking desk, he grabs her hair and everything. I'm gosh, really, dude? Come on. I'm dude, this guy is a prick, man. I hate this guy. And pretty much the thing is, with this whole conversation, it leaks down to the two individuals in this situation that the girl pretty much said, and obviously Ayanokoji. Now Ryuen's Ayanokoji makes a little bit too much sense that it would be him, because, and most of his other classes Ayanokoji, what the hell? He doesn't do shit. And I'm yeah, him not doing shit, that doesn't that doesn't bode. That's typically the type of people that actually do the most devious stuff. So Ryuen looks to be taking on Ayanokoji's tail now, which is gonna be very interesting. That's pretty much, he's gonna try to use Kushieda to see if she can get something out of him. Speaking of Ayanokoji, apparently we have this girl in their class. I believe her name is Sato. well, I'm guessing she caught feelings for Ayanokoji, and she's like, so, you don't got no girlfriend, do ya? And he's like, no, why would I? And pretty much I guess you can say ask him out, but right now she wants to keep things platonic. The reason why she's taking an interest in him is because, well, she thought he was so cool and so handsome when running the race, and she just was like, yeah, I'm kind of the thing. Now, apparently this relationship is something that she wants to keep platonic. Now, I don't know if she has any ulterior motives where she wants to try to use Ayanokoji. It's going to be very interesting to see, but she seems to be infatuated with him, which we see Kay was watching this in the background, and that leads into what I'll talk about later, with Kay being very, bless me, jealous of this whole thing that's going on. So yes, now we get introduced to the newest I guess objective, which it seems like the class did fairly well on their test or whatever, which funny enough, Ayanokoji's like, the teacher's finally complimenting us for once. Well, all right, fine, cool. So yeah, that's what we get introduced to the next, I guess, challenge this class has to do. So it's pretty much this paper shuffle test. Pretty much how it's led up is we'll have two people in the same class that are paired up. So two members in class D will be paired up, but it's not by like choice. It's strictly through scoring base. So what they're going to do is they're going to take this one test, and this one test will determine who will be paired together. Now, in the ultimately in this final test, in this paper shuffle test, you know, the thing is, the people have to get over a score of 60. Otherwise, they will both be expelled, which is kind of rough. And the thing is, you know, this test, the questions are made up by the students of each individual class. So class D, they make their own test for one of the other three classes. Then they end up making a decision on what class they want to give their test to, and that's kind of what it is, and they answer their question. I'm like, oh shit. Oh well, great, wonderful. And funny thing is, they did focus on Kushieda as they're saying all this rules. I'm like, I won't be shocked if she leaks out the plans or the scores and stuff like that, or the answers. And the thing is, whatever class gets the higher score on the test, you know, guess what? They are able to manage. They are able to steal points from said class. 50 points, I believe, from said class. So it's kind of a which class can get a higher score. So yeah, that's kind of the thing, and it's a very interesting thing that is actually happening, and it makes things very it makes things very interesting to see where they could go with this challenge this time. Now Horikita ends up, you know, coming together and talks with Ayanokoji, and it's kind of just really honest to goodness talking about to find out this whole situation about Kushieda. And pretty much she goes on to say that, to tell Ayanokoji that her and Kushieda were in middle school together, and apparently there's a rumor where this class ended up just falling apart, are going into freaking ruin pretty much, because of one individual. And Horikita is thinking that one individual potentially could be Kushieda, with the fact that Kushieda wants to hide her past and get rid of that past. And pretty much the thing is, we find the thing is, it's, you know, something that, you know, Horikita wants to find out if this is the case. Now Ayanokoji's like, why not we just get her expelled? Because wouldn't that just be easier for us to handle, so we don't have to deal with her? But Horikita actually doesn't want to. Horikita actually wants to bring Kushieda to their side. She wants to have Kushieda be somebody that works with them, somebody that I guess they can see as somebody they can potentially go to for trust. Now Ayanokoji's like, you really sure about that? And you Horikita's like, yes, I'm really 100% sure about that. And Ayanokoji's like, well, okay, you go do you. It's your plan, not mine. I don't want nothing to do with it. I'll just be watching from the sidelines, pretty much like I always do. And then we do get a nice scene where Horikita ends up thanking Ayanokoji for helping her out in the situation with Ryuen. So yes, it's confirmed that Ayanokoji was the person that sent out that email, or that voice recording to Ryuen to pretty much let him off the hook and make sure, Horikita didn't have any detestable things done to her. Which she does thank him for that, and it's funny because Ayanokoji's like, that was a weird roundabout way of you telling me or expressing your gratitude, pretty much, to me. So, okay. So then they actually end up going to this cafe to discuss what the ideal plan for this whole testing, this pairing up will imagine. Now, Kushieda is there. Now they pretty much, Horikita goes in to say, well, we'll just have it this way. We'll have people just not score nothing on one, while people get the highest score. Well, then you have one person that scores 1 point, and then again, another person scores a pretty high score, which pairs up fairly even. And pretty much it puts a person with a higher score matched up with somebody with a lower score. So that's very freaking interesting to see from that standpoint, and it makes sense. It makes things a lot easier for people to manage. But we see in the end of the episode, it potentially could actually backfire on our boy Ayanokoji. And then another interesting point, or which actually I'll talk right now. The results are in. We find out who's paired up with who. And Ayanokoji is paired up with Sato, the girl that was pretty much hitting on him this episode. And he's like, well, great. I'm trying to stay hidden, but now I'm paired up with somebody. So I'm guessing what he's going to try to do is he's going to try to use this girl like he's using most of the other characters he's used in the past, especially like how he's using Kay. Maybe he's going to use her to her advantage to see if she can get a higher score, so maybe he can get a lower score and not stand out so much, because we saw, he doesn't really like standing out. He kind of likes being on the DL, our boy Ayanokoji, because he wants people not to get a high expectation of him, because if they get that thinking, he's more subjected to being targeted by other individuals, because how smart he is. Now, one of the last main storylines in this episode was the fact that, we see Kay sees the whole thing with Sato and Ayanokoji, and she was emailing him and then eventually called him at the end of the episode, our boy Ayano, of like, yo, so I know she asked you out. Are you actually going out with her right now? And he's like, no. And it's funny because when he gets the call, he's like, I thought I told you to keep our connections down. I told you not to contact me. And she's like, I know. So we see that Kay is getting a little jelly. She's getting jealous of another girl hitting on Ayanokoji. And she does not like that at all. Which is funny enough because we all remember how at first she was not into Ayanokoji. She hated the guy. And all of a sudden, because at the start of the season, he helped her with this whole situation with Manabe, that he did ask. He's like, hey, Manabe and her friends ain't freaking bothering you. And obviously Kay's like, no, they're not. And he's like, okay, well then if they start doing it, let me know so then I can take care of it and resolve it. And she definitely did like that. She was like, oh, he's my protector. So Kay is she's definitely in love with our boy Ayanokoji. She has feelings for him. It was hinted at a little bit last week. The last couple of weeks actually. But no, yeah, we see that now she's jealous. She wants Ayanokoji all to herself. She wants to be the girl that is his girlfriend. Which, hey, I'm fine with it. But then again, I kind of ship him with Horikita the most. But hey, I'm fine with it. I think Kay's a cute girl. Which is It's a funny thing, and it's funny because he ends up telling like she just said it's absolutely platonic between the two of us. So there's nothing to worry about. And it's funny because he even asked, he's like, "Why are you not worried about Horikita?" And she's like, "Well, it's Horikita. I don't think she has any interest in you, at all." So yeah, that's the thing. So yeah, it's very interesting. So a lot of stuff was dropped this episode. So it's gonna be very interesting to see how Ayanokoji is gonna get out of this situation. Not, I guess you can say, impress himself or just shock everybody because he wants to stay on the down low, pretty much. Because we saw he only got like a C plus in this for his test. Excuse me. But yeah, very interesting. And then with Ryuen looking like he's gonna be on hot on the trail, it's gonna be interesting. And then Horikita's whole plan to get Kushieda on their side, because you know Kushieda doesn't have the best interest of Class C till she wants Ayanokoji and Horikita to get expelled. But other than that, another solid episode of Class from the Elite. If you guys like the video, leave a like. Put in the comment section your thoughts on this week's episode, as well as hit the subscribe button if you want to get more Classroom the Elite content. And when you do hit this subscribe button, hit the notification bell icon so you're up to date with whatever we upload to the channel. Till then, guys, catch you guys in the next video. Peace.